This is the story of two girls. Some bad guys kidnap them and hold them captive, hurting them again and again. But these two girls never give up. We will see how they get revenge on each of those guys, one by one, in this full story. At the start of this story, we meet two beautiful girls, Katie and Nancy. They are agriculture students, and they are about to go to a farm in New York for further studies. They are both very happy about it. They talk to each other about how this is their chance to see Europe and do a lot of shopping. The next morning, their Uncle Jason comes to pick them up. He is an FBI agent. When they go to Jason's house, they meet his girlfriend, who is very happy to see them. After arriving in this city, Katie and Nancy decide to use new names. Katie chooses the name Hyder, and Nancy chooses Ripley. The next day, Jason takes them to the bus stop because Katie and Nancy need to go to the agriculture farm for their studies. Jason waits with them for the bus to New York. But Katie tells him, "The bus will be here soon. You can go to your work. We will message you as soon as we arrive." Jason tells them to use a code word so he knows they are safe. Katie says, "I will use the word apple." But Jason says, "You should use a different alphabet each time so no one can figure out your code." Meanwhile, two guys driving by see Katie and Nancy. Just then, Jason leaves for work. After he leaves, Katie and Nancy go to a nearby restaurant for coffee. The same two guys who saw them earlier also come in. Their names are Zed and Lucas. They start talking to Katie and Nancy, who introduce themselves as Hyder and Ripley. Katie tells them they're going to a farm in New York for study. Zed says, "We are going there too. You can come with us if you want." Katie says no, but as they are about to leave, Nancy convinces Katie to go with them, and they both leave with the guys. But we see that Zed and Lucas don't take them to the farm. Instead, they take them to their house, which is near a forest. Katie and Nancy get worried and tell them to drive to the farm immediately. But then Zed and Lucas's mom comes out. She very kindly asks them to come in for tea and tells them that Zed and Lucas will drop them off later. While they are having tea, Katie gets a message from Uncle Jason. Katie replies with the code word apple, so Jason thinks they have arrived safely at the farm. Lucas's mom gives them some food to eat. As soon as they eat it, Katie and Nancy realize the food had drugs in it, and that something bad is happening to them. They try to run away but pass out after running a short distance. Zed and Lucas then carry them back to their house. The next day, they wake up and find themselves in a forest. Their hands are tied with iron chains. They are very scared and start screaming for help. Then Zed arrives and tells them, "You are in a part of the forest where no one lives for miles. Your screaming is useless." Later, a man named Boris comes. He shows Katie her phone and says, "A man named Jason messaged you. You replied with the word apple." He asks them what it means. Katie explains that apple is a code word meaning "we are safe." After this, Boris replies to Jason, writing, "Everything is fine," and also adds the code word apple. After this, the men force Katie and Nancy to take a bath in front of them. Just then, a police officer named Sheriff arrives. Katie and Nancy beg him for help, but they soon realize this police officer is also working with Zed and Lucas. This makes them even more scared. Katie and Nancy try to reason with the men. "Please, let us go. We won't tell anyone. We can even give you a lot of money." But the men don't listen. We then see the police officer take a Viagra tablet and chooses Katie. Later, we see him coming out of Katie's container, implying he hurt her. Meanwhile, Jason is very worried because Katie used the same code word twice. At the same time, the men send a crazy, drug-addicted man into Nancy's container. He puts a burning cigarette on Nancy's stomach and she starts screaming loudly. He then hurts her. These men have crossed all limits. They are forcing the girls into bad things. Meanwhile, Jason calls the New York agriculture farm to ask about Katie and Nancy. He finds out they never arrived. Jason understands they are in big trouble and immediately sets out to find them. Things are getting even worse for Katie and Nancy. Before the next customer arrives, Zed and Lucas put masks on the girls' faces. The customer also wears a pig mask. Zed and Lucas then remove the masks from the girls' faces to show the customer. The girls get even more scared seeing the man in the pig mask and start screaming. The man then chooses Nancy and takes her into a container to hurt her. After he leaves, Katie goes to Nancy and sees that her condition is very bad. Meanwhile, Jason goes to the police station and meets a police officer. This is the same officer who hurt Katie. Jason tells him about the kidnapping and says he is an FBI agent. The officer asks, "How do you know they were kidnapped?" Jason explains that he told his niece to use a code word only once, but she used the same one twice, making him think she is in trouble and was maybe kidnapped. Back in the forest, the police officer tells Boris everything, that Katie's uncle is an FBI agent and that Katie gave them the wrong information about the code word. Boris takes Zed aside and tells him they need to get rid of the girls quickly, or they will be in trouble. They also need to kidnap new girls coming from the city. Katie, standing near her container, overhears their entire conversation. Meanwhile, Jason goes to the same restaurant where Katie and Nancy met the two guys. He asks a worker there about the girls, and the worker tells him about Boris's car. The next day, Katie tells Nancy that these men are planning to kill them. Just then, Zed and Boris bring the same drug-addicted man who hurt Nancy and tell him to keep a close watch on the girls so they don't run away. As soon as they leave, Katie starts to attract the drug addict's attention, tempting him to get close to her. As he comes close, she bites his neck very hard, blood starts coming out, and the drug addict dies right there. The two girls then free their handcuffs, hide, and when the police officer arrives, they secretly take his car and escape. After this, they go to a mall and buy many strange items like hammers, axes, tennis balls, lots of nails, and other dangerous weapons. Then, they go to the mall's cashier and ask for Boris's home address. The cashier gives it to them. Meanwhile, Jason goes to Boris's car insurance company and gets his home address. We see Boris at home enjoying music. Suddenly, Katie and Nancy arrive. They hit him in the face with a tennis ball covered in nails, knocking him out. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied to a table. Boris offers them a lot of money to let him go, but Katie and Nancy only want revenge. Their uncle Jason also arrives outside Boris's house. Inside, Katie and Nancy ask Boris for the address of the man with the pig mask. Boris tells them. Then, the two girls shove a baseball bat filled with nails into his back. He starts screaming loudly. Hearing the noise, Jason quickly enters the house and finds Boris dead. He hears a car sound from the back, but by the time he gets outside, Katie and Nancy have already driven away. Jason quickly goes back to the police station and asks the police officer again about Katie and Nancy. Meanwhile, Jason tries to call Katie and realizes that her phone is with the police officer. Before Jason can do anything, the officer stands behind him, pointing a gun at him. Meanwhile, Katie and Nancy arrive at a church. We find out that the man with the pig mask is the father of this church. The father recognizes them immediately. Katie hits him from behind with a stick, knocking him out. They tie him to the back of their car, drag him into town, buy matches and gasoline from a shop, pour gasoline on him, and burn him alive. We see that the police officer has tied Jason to a chair. Later, he kidnaps two new girls and brings them there. As he starts to hurt the new girls, quietly, Katie and Nancy arrive. They hit him on the head with a stick, knocking him out. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied to a chair. He starts begging for forgiveness. Katie loads a gun with only one bullet to scare him. They take turns shooting at him, and he dodges all the shots. He smiles a little, but the next second, Katie shoots and kills him. After this, Katie and Nancy free the two new girls and tell them to untie Jason. Then they leave. The girls untie Jason and tell him that the other girls told them to do it. Jason now understands that those two girls were none other than Katie and Nancy. We see Zed and Lucas's mom drinking. Suddenly, she feels strange and passes out. When she wakes up, Katie and Nancy have tied her to a chair in the basement. They have also tied Zed up right in front of her. Then, Katie and Nancy beat Zed with a stick in front of his mom until he dies. His mom starts crying loudly. They then take his mom to Lucas. They give Lucas a stick and tell him to hit his own mom, threatening to shoot him if he doesn't. Lucas can't do it, so Nancy shoots and kills him. They then clean the gun and put it in Lucas's hand to make it look like the mother and son fought and killed each other. Lucas's mom then says to Katie and Nancy, "If you don't kill me, I can give you a lot of money. I have plenty." Hearing this, Katie and Nancy laugh a lot. Then Katie uses a cutting machine and very cruelly cuts off her head. Finally, we see that a few days later, Uncle Jason goes to Katie and Nancy's house and is taking them back to New York. The movie ends with this scene. If you enjoyed the story, like it and subscribe to the channel for more.